So I'm going to show you something really simple that you can copy from high-level doubles players to help you poach more effectively. Let's check it out.
Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you some really key double strategies, including something that's going to help you poach more effectively so you can win a lot more doubles matches. Now, this video is courtesy of Matt Lynn on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to his awesome channel. I have put his link in the description below. All right, let's watch this point, and then we'll diagram it. Well, that was a short point, right? It's like, what could we possibly learn from something so short? Well, really, this is actually the quintessential doubles point. So let's go over this. First, a couple things. Notice where the returner's partner is standing. I wish more recreational players, more club, USTA here in the United States, I wish more players did this when the server has a strong serve. If you're playing someone with a strong serve, if you've got a strong net opponent, or if your partner is struggling with the return, then stand farther back. You don't have to stand by the rules. You don't have to stand really anywhere. You can literally stand anywhere as the returner's partner. So you don't have to be on the service line. By standing farther back, you give yourself more time to react because typically with a big serve, a weak return, this net player is going to slam it at you. So standing farther back gives you more time to react to that. Now, here's the serve. It's a net serve, so he misses the serve. This is where then you see the partner move forward. Typically, you're going to go forward on a second serve and be, more comfortable being up because the ball is usually a slower serve. So the partner usually has more time to react to this ball. So they can do more with it. They can keep it away from the net person. Now, something really interesting happened while this player right here was going forward. When he was going forward, because it was a missed serve, I'm going to zoom right in on him. I want you to look at this player. Look what he does with his hand. He pushes the ball up to the net. Look how his hand is behind his back. He's giving a signal to the server. And he's actually predetermining that they're going to poach. They are going to poach on a second serve. I love this. It's so out of the blue. I love it. So he's got some hand signal. Maybe it's a fist. Maybe it's one finger. Maybe it's an open palm. But he's telling the server, hey, I am going. Love this strategy. Now, here is such an easy way to make your poaches more effective. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but this idea is simple. You want to serve to the opponent's outside wing, especially if your opponent is right-handed and playing the deuce side. Serve to their backhand, and they will pull that ball cross court 95% of the time. So then when you poach, you're right in the way of the ball, and then you can slam it right at the net person. That is exactly what happens here. Here's the serve, and watch the serve. As soon as the serve is hit, this serve is going to the returner's backhand. Now, when does the net player move? When does this player move? They move as soon as they hear the serve hit. As soon as they see or hear the serve hit, they start moving. You can see his movement, and he is moving diagonally. He's moving to intercept that cross-court ball. So when you have a ball going cross-court, you have to move diagonally because that's the shortest distance to the path the ball is taking. It's to move perpendicular to the path of the ball. It's the shortest distance to that line. So he's moving forward at an angle, but more importantly, the server purposely, I guarantee it, the server purposely served it to his backhand. See, when people are given a backhand that is kind of jammed on them, they will hit that ball cross court almost every single time. And even if they do hit it down the line, as the server, he's moving over and he'll easily get that ball because there's not going to be much on it. If you want to be more effective with your poaching, purposely poach, not down the tee, which tends to get pulled here, and then you're poaching like this and you're moving away from the ball, but rather hit the ball serve to the person's outside wing. And this is most effective if you can do it to the opponent's backhand. So against a right-hander, this is best done on the ad side. When you serve to their outside wing, they tend to pull the ball. If you've watched baseball any time in your life, you know that the baseball tends to be pulled. So right-handers tend to hit the ball to the left, left-handers tend to hit the ball to the right. Well, when he's hitting a ball on his backhand side, anatomically, his arms just want to pull the ball this way. And so you're almost feeding the ball to yourself when you serve the ball to your opponent's backhand. You're forcing them to hit cross court, usually forcing them to hit cross court. And when you poach, you then get in the way of that ball. And that's exactly what happens. Now he's got this high ball and he can easily hit it low at the feet of the net player, which is the strategy that I make videos on all the time. When you're at the net, it's important that you don't hit it to the baseline or the person with more time to react when you have a high or medium ball. But rather when you have a high or medium ball at the net, any ball that's above net level, you're trying to hit a strong ball to the side of the court where the closer person is because they have less time to react. Absolutely love this strategy. So I'm going to diagram this on the strategy board, but please stand farther back if it's a really strong server or the net player is really good or your partner is returning. When it's a weak serve, when it's usually a weaker second serve, that's when you can move in. But a little sneaky play on a second serve, put your hand behind your back and give a signal, hey, let's poach. And then when the serve comes, it should be done to the backhand side. Now, if you say, hey, I'm going, and your partner's going like this, if the serve goes down the tee, you got to go anyway. You just hope that he's not able, or the opponent is not able to just crush a ball down the line on their strong side. You have to make sure that you're able to serve to the backhand side. Typically, that ball goes cross court, and then you nail it at the feet or really toward that person. You're not trying to hit them. You're not trying to hurt them. You're just trying to hit the ball anywhere over here because that person doesn't have enough time to react as shown in that video.
So if you're enjoying content like this, it would mean the world to me if you just hit that like button. Also check to see if you've subscribed and hit that notification bell. That way you are notified when I put up new videos. At the moment, I'm putting up 2 new videos every single day. So it would mean the world to me if you were to do that. So thank you. All right. You're playing doubles, you're returning serve, and the server's got a strong serve, or the returner is struggling, or the net player is just dominant, they're super tall and they're getting everything. You don't have to stand here. Because what happens in that situation is often it's a weak return, this person moves over or the ball is just fed right to them and then they nail you. So stand farther back. You can stand behind the baseline, you can stand in no man's land, that's fine. In this situation, no man's land isn't no man's land. And the reason why is because if the return is hit cross court, then you can move forward. If the return is hit to the net player, then you can move back. So you're not going to stay in no man's land. You're just not sure where to go. So you might as well just stand kind of in the middle of the 2 places you're going to have to go. So the serve was a net serve. And that's when this player who was here, the returner's partner moved forward, actually moved slightly in front of the service line. That's fine. If the returner has been having success returning serve on the second serves, then you know what? I'm going to trust that they can keep the ball cross court away from the net player. Now, what was really cool was that signal behind the back. Put his hand behind his back to give a signal. Said, hey, we're going, we're poaching. Sometimes doing something that is so out of the ordinary is the brilliant way to actually make it work because it's going to completely surprise your opponent. Now, one of the best ways, if you're struggling with poaching, if you're finding like, hey, we try to poach, but it never seems to work. One of the best ways to make poaches work or to help poaches work is to basically force your opponent to have to hit cross court. The reason poaching is risky is because sometimes the ball goes down the line. Well, typically when the serve is hit down the tee, that's when people, if you just think about it, like my back to you as the camera, if this is, their forehand side, if they're hitting a forehand, they're going to hit that ball typically this way. Like their racket pulls and their ball tends to go that way. So if you poach on a down the tee or kind of at the forehand if they're right-handed serve, or even if it's a backhand for a lefty, it doesn't matter. If you hit the ball there, the ball tends to go down the line more often because people actually make that decision. A lot of people don't know that they choose a target based on which side they're hitting on, right? If they're hitting on this side, they tend to hit that way. And if they're hitting on this side, they tend to hit that way. Sometimes it doesn't even compute to us that we're actually choosing our target based on the wing that we're hitting on. So if you hit the ball like this, that ball tends to go down the line. Well, you've just poached, and now you gave them their strong shot, and the ball goes, zoom, and then they're like, oh, I know we shouldn't have poached. That's not what you want to happen. It's better off if you serve to the backhand side or slightly the outside wing. And if you can jam them, it's even better. Even if you don't pre-plan the poach, if you serve and you can jam them and get their backhand, anybody who plays baseball knows when you get an inside pitch, you tend to pull it. So this is an inside pitch, and you're basically forcing them to hit the ball cross court. And I should have done this. You got to move in at an angle. When you move in at an angle and this person moves over, this player then has an easy ball. It's usually a weak ball as well. And that's when you can hit the ball toward this player, the player with less time. So a few things to take from this. When you're returning serve against a strong server, you can stand farther back against the first serve just in case the ball goes to the net player, you have more time. If it's a second serve, sometimes do a planned poach on a second serve, but you got to serve to the outside wing. Same thing on the right side, same thing on the deuce side against a right-hander, but it's better usually on the ad side because that's their backhand side. So they typically can't do much, but otherwise pull it cross court and the ball comes right to you. And then when you do poach and you get that high ball, you have to make sure you don't hit it to the baseliner. You have to make sure you hit it toward the net player who has less time to react. Start implementing these ideas in your doubles game. If you enjoyed this video, don't send it to your opponents. That's not advisable. Send it to your teammates. If you're on a USTA team, if you're on a club team or tournament team, junior team, send it to your teammates so that you can all be on the same page. So every court out there for the team is winning more points. Use these strategies, and there is no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.